provided by the main pipeline. We have the gas inward infrastructure. When the gas is lit, gas will have a very dangerous situations. Therefore, we have been approached to do some kind of gas leaking monitoring. And I want to point out is sensor network is very flexible. You can apply to almost different kind of applications. But if you ask me, can I use wireless sensor network technology to do certain applications? The answer actually is quite simple. You just need to ask yourself, can you identify any difference, any kind of sensor to be used for the monitoring purposes? If you have the sensor, you can plug the sensor or link the sensor to the node, to the radio node. Then you can have a network up and running for monitoring purposes. Here are some of those applications, as I previously have mentioned: wildfire, wind-up, water supply, or even to tracking. This kind of tracking is not using the GPS, because the GPS will be quite time-consuming. This kind of tracking, what we say is, for instance, vehicle coming back after delivery or after whatever business it does. When it come back to the plant, come back to the factory has some kind of infrastructure. It will know the vehicle have entered to the first stop of that factory. Hopefully they will load some kind of product or whatsoever. This kind of tracking is more in confined environments. And because the sensor node that don't have a proper infrastructure like the mobile, like the GPS, you couldn't establish a wide area of tracking. It really depends on your size and the amount of neighboring sensor node. Because the sensor node will only talk to the next sensor node. It don't talk to a tower, it don't talk to a base stations. It's like a mobile phone. Therefore, the tracking, what we are saying is a small scale tracking. Healthcare is another very hot topic at the moment. Elderly patients, right now, a lot of elderly patients in UK staying alone in the home. Can we provide some kind of system to monitor the patients so that if anything happens, we can send to the hospital, to the police, so that those authorities can attend the patients immediately. Here is a list that put down those applications. In this slide is one of those trajectory done by one of the research company. It's talk about the market opportunity. Definitely, the opportunity is there, but I don't think as a research academic background, I don't think I'd like to go in too much for this slide, but the trajectory is looking good, and the demand is there. That's what I want to say. So let me summarize the research so far for the wireless sensor network. Today, I put a point here. Anything happened today, I summarize this as the first generations. Alright, let's see what has been happening so far. For the wireless sensor network, so far, a lot of things has been done on the hardware. Processor, how can you increase the speed but in a smaller size? Memory, robustness. You have to remember the hardware, you don't deploy it one by one manually. You have to be robust enough to survive. Alright, just random deployments, random drop from the helicopter or the aeroplane. This kind of thing. a lot of activities going on. It's mainly done by those big manufacturing and chip manufacturing. They're doing a lot of work in this line, as well as because the sensor node is powered by battery. When the battery is exhausted, then your node is gone. A lot of activity in here. How can you increase the shelf life of the battery and then increase the operation lifetime of your sensor node? A lot of activity in this area. And then medium access control. This medium access control is a network protocol that allows different sensor nodes to talk to each other, but try to avoid too heavy congestions. This has a lot of study has been done as well. On top of the MAC layer, what we have is the network layer. Yes, sensor nodes can talk to each other, but how can you relay this information from the source to the destinations? This is a sensor node at the network layer. A lot of research has been done as well. And then the data disseminations. In here, what we say is, if you have 10 sensor nodes detect a fire outbreak, you no need to have 10 alerts. Alright? What you want is just have one alert and guarantee this alert successfully get back to the control center. This is what we are talking about in here, the data disseminations. And a lot of things has been doing in this area. So far, these are the main topic, these are the main research trends for the wireless sensor network. Alright, before I move into a second generation or what we propose the next generation sensor network, I would like to talk more about some of our development, some of our applications happening in our lab. The first project is called Conditions-Based Monitoring, CBM, for animal health. In here, we know the food price has been keep on going up for the last year. Hopefully this year will be better, alright? But there's a demand, there's a requirement there to increase the productivity, but also guarantee the profit for the farmer, because these they are livelihood. And for the farm in the Europeans or the UK, the labor is very expensive. And for the farming industry, it's usually this kind of industry that rely heavily on the labor. It's a labor quite intensive industry. Therefore, this project is looked into. Can we design a monitoring system and replace some of the laboring costs and give the farmer have a better profit margins? In the same time, we also guarantee that the animal welfare and the animal health has been looked after properly. In this project, the first thing we need to resolve is the communication platforms, because if you want to monitor the animals will move, alright, move in, move out to the field. So your communication platforms, how you're going to resolve it, how you're going to get the data back to a control center. Also, if you get packet back from a cow, it's not very interesting. So what if you get some kind of measurement back from a cow? It means nothing to the farmer. Therefore, we also look into artificial intelligence. We don't tell the farmer,